Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay now? Means voice is okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, boys and girls. So today we will start from the last day. Last day I have given the idea of linear search as well as binary search. Now, if I want to make a comparison between these two, what is the difference between linear search and binary search, then we will definitely say one thing, that in case of linear search, if this is my given array, then what I am doing, so the index value starting from 0 to n minus 1, considering n number of elements. So if it is a linear search and I want to search the element x, then definitely you say that in case of linear search, I have to compare my x with each and every element of this array. Okay, that's why we have seen that in case of linear search, the time required to search a particular element depends on number of elements present. We need a single for loop. To solve the problem. That's why it depends on number of elements, because this for loop will execute n times. Okay. Now see, suppose my array is like this. I'm taking only small number of elements. So suppose the elements are like this: 3, 5, 2, 9, 15. So these are my elements. And now in this array, I want to search x, which is 3. Okay. Now, generally we start with comparison from 0, because we start I equal to 0 and it will move up to n minus 1. Okay. See, if I am searching 3 in this array, then my first comparison with this one, a of 0, and it is my success. Okay, it will give me a success. So in case of linear search, my success is whenever x is equal to a of I, correct? Now, how to recognize that it is a failure? Now see, to check whether it is a failure or not, if suppose instead of 3, suppose I am searching 17, then what will happen? I will compare with each and every element, and finally I will reach in such a position, in this position, which is outside the array. Okay, so if this is n minus 1, then obviously this is n. So I can say my failure is if I equal to n, then I can say that it is my failure. Am I clear? And when I can say it is success, if this Or you can write if I less than n, then also I can say that it is a success. So my success will be in two different, for success verification, we have two different scenarios or conditions. One is either x equal to fi, or if I less than n. And how to check whether it is failure? If I becomes n, what is the meaning of I becomes n? It means I is starting from 0, it will check up to n minus 1. I becomes n means there is no such element. That's why I increased and becomes n. So this is my failure. Why this condition will give you failure? Because in my linear search program, what I am writing it like this. There is a for loop, and I am writing it like this: if x equal to a of I, then break. Okay. So since I am using this break, that's why I am guaranteed that if element found, definitely I must be less than n. But if element is not found, then due to this for loop condition not satisfying, my condition will come from the for loop. My control will come from the for loop. So this is my success story and this is my failure story. Okay, logic clear? Now see, if I am searching 3 here, then how many comparison I required? I required only, so if my x is 3, then I need only how many comparison or how many iteration to complete the loop? Only 1. Okay, because my first element is my search element. So it will match with this and it will come out. Logic clear? Now if I search instead of 3 in this array, if I search 15, then how many comparison I have to perform? I have to perform n comparisons. Okay. So if I, in this particular array, if I search 3, then it will give me only 1 comparison. But if I search 15, then it will give me n comparisons. So here 15 searching depends on n, but 3 searching is not depends on n. So remember this condition when I am searching an element, and which is found with minimum time, then success, obviously success with minimum time success with minimum time, then we say this one is called best case. This is the best case. So whenever you are performing any operation on a particular problem, means you are writing some algorithm, if your algorithm give you success with minimum time, then that particular sequence of data or input sequence or particular data sequence is called the best case scenario. Similarly, if you see this one here, I am searching 15, which is at the end element. So I have to compare with each and every element. And finally, when I have compared the nth time, I will get the success. So this is called, so success with maximum time. This is the maximum time required to success. See, both are under success. With failure, I am not considering anything, because I have to solve the problem. So if my success with minimum time, this is called best case. If my success with maximum time, I will call it worst case. This is very important. In case of any algorithm, there must be one best case scenario, there must be one worst case scenario. Okay, now if it is in between, suppose I am searching instead of this, if I am searching 2 or I am searching 5, then it is not give you the best, not give you the worst. Then it is called, this is another criteria, this is called average case. So remember these three very important things: best case, worst case, and average case. So when I will say best case, so best case means success with minimum time for an algorithm. I'm writing in short. Worst case, remember, it should be success. Success with maximum time, there is a time, sorry, time for an algo. An average case, success with in between max and mean time for an algo. Okay, so now it is clear. For a linear search, best case means I found the element with the first iteration or first comparison. So it means in linear search, if your element is at front and you are starting or searching from front, see, this is again very important. Suppose your element in this position and you are searching from the end, then it will give you the worst case. Clear? So you have to write, in case of linear search, what is the best case? These are very important Viva questions. So in case of linear search, what is the best case? So you have to tell that for linear search, the best case is if I found the element, or you can say if I found the element with minimum time complexity, or you can say it like this: my element is at front and I'm searching, or I'm starting the search from front, then it will give me the best case. Similarly, how I will get worst case? If I'm searching from front and my element is at the end, then this is the worst case. Very clear? Or you can definitely say that success with maximum time. But if interviewer asks you which position, where if I say in which position the element should be for best case, then you have to say the element is in front and I'm searching, or I have started searching from front. Then this is best case. Okay. Now see, one very important difference between binary search and linear search is, you already know this, so I'm just writing it in number 1. One is linear search, we can apply both for shorted and unshorted, correct? There is no limitation for shorted or unshorted. But in case of binary search, only shorted data. So this is one definite difference between binary search and linear search. Now see what is another very important and interesting difference. Now in case of binary search, what is the condition? Array must be sorted. Suppose my elements are 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. So this is ascending order. So 2, 3, 4. Okay. So in case of binary search, the first thing that we have to do, we have to set 2 variables for pointing the lowest index value and pointing the highest index value. Okay, which is generally n-1. And then what is the logic? We have to calculate the mid index value. How to calculate mid index value? It is always integer division, or you can write it like this. We have to consider the floor value. Okay. If I consider the floor value for this, what is the value? It is 2. So I will compare, suppose I am searching some element x. So my first comparison will be from this position, which is called the mid position. Now, what is the best case for this and what is the worst case for this? I hope you have understood the meaning of best case and worst case. Now I am unmuting you. Please answer me. Which one is the best case and which one is the worst case for this binary search?
Sir, the best case is that
Best
the
case is 33 মানে ফার্স্ট সার্চেই পাওয়া যাবে মিডে
Good. So the definition is clear that if I get the success with minimum time, then this is best. So since we have started searching from mid position, so if my element is in the mid position, means in this case, if I am searching 33, then it will give me the best case. Logic clear? And what is the worst case?
Extreme, when the element is present at the
55
so
Either
the worst case in
55,
this one is 44.
either 11 or 55, both will give you the worst case. Who is telling 44? Why 44 is the worst case?
Sir, 44 is equally bad as 55. Like,
No.
oh, sorry. Yes, understood. The floor value we have to take now mid.
Yeah.
So it will come to 3. Yes,
Right.
understood.
Okay. So both extreme positions, this extreme, either minimum or maximum, if it is in ascending order. Then if I search the minimum or maximum in the array, then in case of binary search, this considered as worst case. I hope it is clear now, na? What is the meaning of worst case and best case? Okay, so I'm muting you. Any question? Okay, no question means I hope it is clear. Yes.
Sir, what if there are two mid values, sir?
That is very important question, that if there are more than 2 mid values, it happened that the same 13 present, but it depends on your algorithm, how you are writing your algorithm. Means if you write your algorithm like this, if I get a success x equal to fi, then I will break. It means with the first encounter of the success, you are getting out from the loop. Logic clear? If there are more than 2 same value, then what? It depends on your algorithm. If you are writing your algorithm in this way, that when I get the first encounter, I will leave the loop, I will not search for further, then it will only...
Sir, your screen is not visible.
I'm not showing the screen. I'm just telling the meaning of this if more than 1 mid values. Very clear? I hope now it is clear. If more than 1 mid value, it depends on your algorithm. Whether you are living with the first encounter or you will move forward. If you move forward, then it considered as frequency of each number or frequency of that particular number. Am I clear? If I ask...
Sir, in this case,
Yes.
sir, 11 should be better than 22. Case of 11 should be better than 22, I guess.
How? Okay, let's
Sir,
check.
when we...
Okay, let's check. If I dry run the code, what will happen? So first I am comparing with 33, correct? So
Yes.
suppose which one you want to search, 11 or 22?
Let's say 22.
Okay, 22. So I'm starting with 22. So since my element is less than 33, so definitely I will reject this part and I will only consider
Yes,
this
sir.
one.
High will be mid minus 1.
Correct. So now my...
Then high will be 22 and low will be 11. There is no mid value.
No. Again, you have to calculate the new mid. Na? So now L is 0, L as it is. See, L as it is. So what you have modified? You have modified your age from mid to mid minus 1. It means now age becomes 1. Again, you have to calculate the mid. So what is the new mid? 0 plus 1 by 2. So it will give you, it will
0.
give you 0, correct?
0.
Okay.
Yes,
Then
sir.
so I am comparing with, next I am copying. Oh, acha, acha, acha. That's why you are saying that 22.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this should not be happening. Am I doing
Yes,
anything
I guess
wrong? It should not happen.
so maybe high equals to mid if we do,
No.
but then there's no logic of doing that.
We generally do mid minus 1. There is no,
Yes, sir. That
it
I
is
know.
not, it is not creating any problem, but suppose in this side what happened, 3 to 4, then, but in this side it will be okay. No,
Yes,
but in
maybe it
this
takes
side,
I guess the right one.
yeah. That's why it is happening. That's why it is happening. Always we are taking the right values. So in this case, if it
Because
is
if
3
we,
plus,
yeah, yes, sir.
it will give you 3. So you will compare
Yes,
with this.
always the mid will come the left part
That's why it is happening.
out of 2.
Okay, so you can say that in this case, 22 is the 22, and in this side 55 is the worst case. Okay, now it may vary for odd number or even number. You can check it. For even number, it may be different scenario. Okay, so the logic is clear that what is called best case and what is called worst case. Okay, now
But 22 will not execute, sir.
oh,
So we
sorry.
will not get 22, sir. If we will keep on doing mid minus 1, then it's ultimately L plus H is equal to 0 plus 0 by 2. It's also 0, sir.
It is after, if you searching 11, na? If you searching 11, then only. If you searching 22, you will get it.
Then it will. So 1 plus 2 by 2. We are getting
1 plus,
1 plus 2 by 2. If we
why
put 1
1
and
plus
2.
2? Because
Sir, if we try to find 22, then
for 22, it is initially moved into this. Okay, then it means you will get your L becomes mid plus 1, mean 1. And what is your H? H is 1. So you will get 1 plus 1 by 2. So 1. Logic clear? For 22?
okay, sir. Yes. Sir.
For 11, see, after first iteration, we are getting mid value 0. So we are comparing with this element. Now mine 22 is greater than. So if it is greater than, I will modify the L. How L will be modified? It will be modified by mid plus 1. Okay, so mid plus 1, mid is 0, so mid plus 1 is 1. And H is as it is, 1. So now the new value becomes, mid value becomes 1. So now you will get 22. So in case of 22 and in case of 55, you will get the worst case. Okay. Now, so now see, from this, you can again differentiate between the linear search and binary search. What is the difference? In case of linear search, if it is worst case, then I have to compare with each and every element. But in case of binary search, if it is worst case, then still I am not comparing with each and every element. Am I comparing, if I am searching 22, am I comparing it with 44 or 55? No. But in case of linear search, if it is a worst case, then I have to compare with each and every element. So there comes another difference between linear search and binary search. What is the difference? The linear search, for worst case, we have to compare with each and every element, each and every input values are compared. Logic clear? But in case of binary search, I am only comparing with selected elements. So selected elements are compared. So this is another difference And if any algorithm which compare each and every element to get the success or to solve the problem, then this type of algorithm is called brute force algorithm. This type of algorithm where we have to compare each and every input value to get success or to get the output, then this type of algorithm is called brute force algorithm. And this binary search type algorithm where we are avoiding or selecting some elements, how we are avoiding. So if this is my array, I'm comparing with the mid element, then I'm dividing my problem into two parts, correct? And then I am selecting either this or this. That's why it is called binary. I'm not selecting both. I'm selecting either this or this. So my problem, this is my original problem. This is my original problem, which is now divided into two sub-problems. This is sub-problem 1, this is sub-problem 2. Again, I will suppose I am going in this side. So again, I will compare with mid and it will be divided again into two parts. Okay. So this concept is called divide and conquer algorithm. Divide and conquer algorithm. So I hope now you can understand there are different types of algorithms. The linear search, where we are comparing each and every element to get the success, is called brute force type algorithm. And in binary search, where we are selecting, means not all the elements are involved in the procedure, and we are dividing our problem into sub problems, and finally we are conquering or getting the success. This type of algorithm is called divide and conquer. So from this, we can say there are different types of algorithms. Number one is brute force. Number 2, divide and conquer. Okay, there is another interesting problem which is also called optimization problem, where optimization problem means always we are searching for a particular successful solution. So I am giving you some examples. Suppose these are different routes. So this is source A and this is source B. To reach B, there are different routes. There are different routes to reach B. Okay, now you have to reach from A to B in such a way that the total cost is minimum. Total cost is minimum. There are different pathways to reach the destination B, and you have to select the minimum path. Okay, this type of problem is called optimization problem. This type of problem is actually happened in case of our internet also. So internet connection, computer connection is nothing but a graph connection. But different devices, servers are connected. Now there are different possible paths between two server or two devices. Always, each and every device always try to search the minimum path or shortest path. This is called optimization problem. And this type of algorithms are called greedy algorithms. So this is another type of the algorithm. There is another interesting problem where you have to divide the problem into sub-problem, but there is some overlapping between the problems. See, in this binary search algorithm, this part and this part having no common scenario, or there is no common or overlapping between these two. But there is one problem which is called Fibonacci series. So what is the value of Fibonacci series? We can write it like this. Thus Fibonacci of n is equal to Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. Okay, and there is some terminating condition that Fibonacci 0 is 0 and Fibonacci 1 is 1. So the sequence is 0, 1. These two are fixed. From the third, it is starting with, so from n greater than equal to 2, it will be summation of the previous two. So if this is n, then this element is sum of n minus 1 and n minus 2. Okay, that's why it is written in this format. Now suppose I want to measure the Fibonacci. So my problem fib n now is divided into two sub-problems. Fib n minus 1, fib n minus 2. So suppose I want to measure fib of 4. Then what I will do, I will call fib 3 and in this side fib 2 and they are sum. Okay, for fib 3 again this is satisfying, so it will again call fib 2 plus fib 1. Okay, now see this fib 2 is here as well as here. So they are two different sub-problems, but there is a overlapping. So this type of overlapping, the problem is divided into sub-problems, same as divide concept of divide and conquer, but there is some overlapping. Then this type of problems are called dynamic programming. So this is another kind of algorithm style. There is another type which is called recursive. So you already know what is the meaning of recursive. Here we have defined Fibonacci series in a form of recursive call. So this is recursive type of algorithms. Okay. There is another interesting type of algorithm which is called backtracking. So backtracking type algorithms are mainly used for different games. Suppose you want to implement chess. Okay. In those type of problems, there is some backtracking concept where after reaching some state, you have to backtrack. You have to back. Suppose from there, you have already come into this position. You have already come into C. But after reaching C, you see that it is not a success state. So you have to backtrack. You have to back. And again, you have to start with another state. This type of algorithm is called backtracking. So these are the different types of algorithms. Mainly in this semester, we have this one, mainly this two. I will solve one greedy problem for you as an assignment in your lab, and this one. These two problems are generally not covered in this syllabus, in this data structure syllabus. It is again in your algorithm analysis. I hope it is in your next semester, where you will elaborately discuss about this dynamic programming and backtracking. So in this course, we will try to cover brute force type algorithms, divide and conquer type algorithms. I will try to give you one example in your lab of greedy algorithm. And obviously, there are many recursive type of algorithm. Mainly these three are covered in your next semester. Okay. So with this, I am now coming to how to measure the time complexity. So we have seen how to measure the time. What time required by this algorithm or this algorithm. What time required for binary search? We have seen it is mainly n minus 1. Sorry, n. In case of linear search, in case of linear search, what is the time required to solve the problem since the for loop is running n times? Now see, this is another interesting thing. Suppose there is a printf statement, or there is a scanf statement, or there is an assignment statement like this. Remember, these statements will require minimum time. these statements will require minimum time. But if there is one comparison like this, greater than, less than, equal to, so all the relational operator, if there is such things, then we have to involve our ALU, arithmetic logic unit. That's why this type of concept or this type of statements will take maximum time to execute. So that's why whenever we are considering the time complexity or total time in an algorithm, we mainly focus on this relational type of statements. Suppose in case of bubble sort, we will mainly focus on this one. A of j is greater than A of j plus 1. We mainly focus this type of statements. How many times this type of statements are executed? Okay, so now from this, so for linear search, what is the time complexity we have already covered. Now, what is the time complexity for binary search? So I hope I have already solved it in the previous class. Now today I will try to solve it with a different scenario. So I will try to write an equation. For linear search, what is the equation? So I am searching for n number of elements. So I am searching my element in n number of elements. So time required to search in n number of elements. And remember, I am always considering the worst case, because worst case is the variable one. And another interesting thing, suppose you have given a solution for a problem, and your solution is giving, say, means you want to justify that your algorithm is best. Okay, well, there is one problem and you have given one solution for the problem, and you are telling that my algorithm is the best. Then remember, if your algorithm is taking less time in worst case scenario, again, if your algorithm is giving less time in worst case scenario than the existing algorithms, then only you can say, or you can means bet that your algorithm is the best. Otherwise, in case of best case, there is no comparison. Always you have to compare your algorithm in the worst case. Worst case. Now see, just tell me, what is the worst case for sorting? Anyone? Worst case for any sorting. What is the worst case? Anyone? What is the worst case for sorting?